1. What is the primary objective of the Master Training Specialist MTS program? A. To certify instructors in basic teaching methods. B. To recognize mastery in instructional design, delivery, and evaluation within the Navy training system. C. To develop entry-level curriculum writers. D. To replace formal training officer certification. 2. Which principle of adult learning best supports learner engagement in MTS-led instruction? A. Passive memorization. B. Immediate relevance and problem-centered learning. C. Competitive testing environments. D. Instructor-dominated delivery. 3. What is the most effective method for evaluating instructional effectiveness in MTS programs? A. Peer evaluations and learner feedback linked to performance outcomes. B. Number of completed training sessions. C. Student attendance rate. D. Length of course materials. 4. In the MTS model, which phase of curriculum development focuses on defining learning objectives and outcomes? Design phase. B. Development phase. C. Implementation phase. D. Evaluation phase. 5. The Navy's Training System Plan, NTS, primarily ensures A. That training materials are stylistically consistent. B. That manpower, personnel, and training resources are aligned with mission requirements. C. That training centers operate independently. D. That instructors write their own evaluations. 6. Which instructional strategy best supports performance-based learning in MTS training? A. Lecture-based delivery. B. Simulation and scenario-driven practice. C. Reading-only assignments. D. Written examinations only. 7. Which of the following best defines formative evaluation within the MTS framework? A. Assessment conducted during instruction to improve learning effectiveness. B. Final performance review after course completion. C. A mandatory Navy-wide assessment. D. An evaluation of instructor attendance. 8. What is the primary purpose of conducting a job duty task analysis, JDTA? A. To eliminate redundant training. B. To determine the tasks, skills, and knowledge required for specific job roles. C. To evaluate learner attitudes. D. To identify course scheduling gaps. 9. In the MTS program, mentoring is most effective when it A. Focuses on compliance with administrative tasks only. B. Encourages reflection, feedback, and skill application. C. Is limited to annual performance reviews. D. Avoids open communication. 10. Which learning domain is primarily engaged when an instructor evaluates the learner's ability to demonstrate a physical skill? A. Cognitive. B. Affective. C. Psychomotor. D. Interpersonal. 11. When designing course objectives, what format should be followed to ensure clarity and measurability? A. Broad mission goals. B. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound SMART criteria. C. Informal descriptive statements. D. Subjective instructor interpretations. 12. The MTS process emphasizes curriculum alignment with A. Individual instructor preferences. B. Navy training standards and fleet mission readiness. C. Local base policies. D. Student demographic data. 13. In adult learning theory, intrinsic motivation is enhanced when learners A. Are externally rewarded for completion. B. Understand personal and professional relevance of the content. C. Are required to attend. D. Receive detailed theoretical explanations. 14. Which communication method best supports effective instructor-learner interaction? A. One-way lecture. B. Feedback loops and active listening. C. Written memos. D. Rote repetition. 15. What is the first step in the Navy's Instructional Systems Design (ISD) process? Analyze. B. Develop. Design. D. Implement. 16. During course development, which document outlines how course objectives will be measured. A lesson plan. B testing plan. C instructor evaluation form. D course schedule. 17. A key regulatory compliance requirement for MTS curriculum is that it A. Adheres to NAVEDTRA standards and Navy Education and Training Command NETC policies. B. Reflects instructor preferences. C. Follows civilian education models. D. Avoids external audits. 18. Which learning theory underpins the idea that adults learn best when applying prior experiences to new learning situations? A. Behaviorism. B. Constructivism. C. Cognitivism. D. Classical conditioning. 19. The primary purpose of the evaluation phase in the ISD process is to A. Finalize course materials. B. Determine the effectiveness and efficiency of training delivery. C. Approve instructors for certification. D. Establish course pricing. 20. What is the main purpose of a Master Training Specialist mentor in the qualification process? A. To evaluate administrative paperwork. B. To guide, coach, and model effective instructional techniques for candidates. C. To observe from a distance without input. D. To assess physical training performance. 21. How should MTS candidates demonstrate mastery in the curriculum development domain? A. By editing course manuals. B. By conducting needs analysis, designing objectives, and developing assessments. C. By memorizing existing course content. D. By observing other instructors only. 22. What type of evaluation occurs after course delivery to determine its long-term impact? A. Summative evaluation. B. Formative evaluation. Diagnostic evaluation. D. Peer review. 23. Which type of feedback is most effective for developing instructor performance? A. Specific, timely, and actionable feedback. B. Generalized positive comments. C. Delayed feedback. D. Anonymous written notes. 24. Which principle of adult learning emphasizes that adults are self-directed learners? Pedagogy. B. Andragogy. C. Behaviorism. D. Classical conditioning. 25. The use of Bloom's taxonomy in MTS course design helps A. Determine lesson duration. B. Structure learning objectives by cognitive complexity. Replace testing plans. D. Simplify grading procedures. 26. Which documentation supports regulatory compliance in MTS curriculum development? A. Training Project TPP. B. Course enrollment sheet. C. Instructor evaluation checklist. D. Attendance log. 27. In the Navy training system, the Course Training Task List, CTL, identifies A. Student assignments and tests. B. The duties and tasks that form the foundation for curriculum development. C. Instructor duties. D. Classroom setup requirements. 28. During mentoring, which approach fosters critical thinking and autonomy in trainees? A. Providing direct answers immediately. B. Asking open-ended reflective questions. C. Assigning tasks without discussion. D. Correcting all mistakes immediately. 29. The effective domain in MTS instruction focuses primarily on A. Skills and performance. B. Knowledge comprehension. C. Attitudes, motivation, and values. D. Physical coordination. 30. In the Navy's MTS framework, which document provides standards and procedures for instructor qualification? A. NAVEDTRA 43100 series. B. Navy Policy Memo 1020. C. NETS 1500.1. D. Navy Operational Manual. 31. Effective communication in MTS training must A. Encourage two-way dialogue and respect learner input. B. Rely primarily on written materials. C. Follow a strict lecture format. D. Exclude informal discussion. 32. What is the ultimate goal of curriculum evaluation in the MTS process? A. To update materials for compliance only. B. To ensure instruction improves learner performance and mission readiness. C. To reduce course length. D. To assess instructor attendance. 33. Which mentoring characteristic best aligns with the MTS philosophy? A. Directive leadership. B. Collaborative guidance that builds confidence and professional competence. C. Competitive performance review. D. Hierarchical feedback-only approach. 34. When developing instructional materials for Master Training Specialist (MTS) candidates, which approach best ensures alignment with performance-based objectives? A. Focusing primarily on theoretical frameworks. B. Developing materials after assessments are created. C. Designing content directly around measurable performance outcomes. D. Using only existing standardized Navy course outlines. 35. During an MTS evaluation, an instructor notices that trainees struggle with applying newly learned procedures in simulations. What should the instructor do first to address this issue? A. Repeat the entire lecture content. B. Integrate scenario-based learning to reinforce application. C. Administer a written test to check knowledge retention. D. Extend the training timeline for additional practice. 36. Which mentoring approach best supports MTS candidates in developing long-term instructional effectiveness? A. Correcting every mistake immediately during instruction. B. Providing detailed performance data without follow-up discussion. C. Encouraging reflective practice and self-assessment after teaching sessions. D. Assigning complex tasks without guidance to promote independence.